You love your dog like family. You buy what the label promises: wholesome, nutritious, safe. But what if that can of wet food is hiding a dangerous secret? From deadly toxins and metal fragments to bacterial contamination that could make your pet seriously ill, the risks are real. Today, we are exposing 9 wet dog food brands you should avoid at all costs, and the 2 that are actually safe for your best friend. Number 9. Pedigree Chopped Ground Dinner. Pedigree is one of the most recognized names in pet food. Walk into any grocery store, any big box retailer, and you will see those familiar red and yellow cans stacked high on the shelves. The packaging promises complete and balanced nutrition. It shows happy, healthy dogs with shiny coats and bright eyes. Millions of pet owners trust this brand every single day. But here is what they do not tell you on that cheerful label. Pedigree has faced multiple complaints over the years regarding foreign objects found inside their wet food products. We are talking about pieces of plastic, fragments of bone that were never supposed to be there, and in some disturbing cases, what appeared to be metal shards. Imagine your senior dog, the one with sensitive teeth and a delicate digestive system, biting down on something sharp hidden in what you thought was soft, safe food. The damage could be catastrophic. Internal cuts, choking, or worse. But the problems do not stop at physical contaminants. Independent lab tests have raised concerns about the actual nutritional content of Pedigree products. Some analyses have shown that the protein levels do not always match what is advertised on the can. For a senior dog that needs consistent, high-quality protein to maintain muscle mass and organ function, this shortfall is not just disappointing, it is a betrayal. You are paying for nutrition your dog is not receiving. There is also the ingredient list to consider. Pedigree wet foods often contain meat byproducts, which sounds harmless enough until you learn what that really means. Byproducts can include organs, bones, and parts of animals that did not make the cut for human consumption. Some of these ingredients are nutritionally valuable, but the lack of transparency about exactly what is in each can leave pet owners guessing. For seniors who rely on their dogs for companionship, for emotional support, for a reason to get up and take a walk each morning, the thought of unknowingly feeding them contaminated or nutritionally deficient food is heartbreaking. You trusted the brand, you trusted the promises, and that trust may have been misplaced. The texture of Pedigree wet food has also drawn criticism. Many pet owners report an unusual, almost gelatinous consistency that their dogs refuse to eat. Others describe a strong, off-putting smell that does not resemble real meat at all. When you open a can and your dog turns away, that is not pickiness. That is instinct. Animals know when something is wrong, even when the label insists everything is fine. According to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, over 56% of dogs in the United States are classified as overweight or obese. Feeding your dog a product with questionable protein content and filler ingredients only contributes to this epidemic. Excess weight puts strain on joints, increases the risk of diabetes, and shortens lifespan. For senior dogs already dealing with age-related health issues, every meal matters. The betrayal here is clear. Pedigree markets itself as an affordable, reliable choice for everyday pet owners. But when you dig beneath the surface, you find contamination complaints, inconsistent nutrition, and ingredients that raise more questions than answers. Your dog deserves better, and so do you. Number 8. Olroy. Olroy is Walmart's store brand, and it is one of the best-selling dog food brands in America. The price point is attractive. There is no denying that. For seniors living on fixed incomes, trying to stretch every dollar while still caring for their beloved pets, Olroy seems like a reasonable compromise. But what you save in money, you may pay for in your dog's health. This brand has been at the center of some of the most alarming pet food scandals in recent memory. In 2018, Olroy was linked to reports of dogs becoming severely ill after eating their products. Symptoms included vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, and in some tragic cases, death. The FDA received numerous complaints, and investigations pointed to potential contamination with pentobarbital, a drug used to euthanize animals. Let that sink in. A substance used to put animals to sleep was allegedly found in food meant to nourish them. Is it not strange how billion-dollar food companies keep having these issues, yet their products remain on every shelf, priced to move, targeted at the people who can least afford alternatives? The ingredient list for Olroy wet food reads like a chemistry experiment. You will find corn syrup, artificial colors, and preservatives that have no place in a healthy diet. These additives can trigger allergic reactions, digestive upset, and long-term health problems. For senior dogs with compromised immune systems or existing health conditions, these ingredients are not just unnecessary, they are dangerous. Independent testing has also revealed inconsistencies in the nutritional content of Olroy products. The protein sources are vague, often listed simply as meat and bone meal without specifying what kind of animal it came from. This lack of transparency is a red flag. When a company will not tell you exactly what is in their product, you have to wonder what they are hiding. The smell of Olroy wet food has been described by many pet owners as overpowering and unpleasant. Some report a rancid, almost chemical odor that makes them question whether the product has spoiled before even reaching its expiration date. If you open a can and have to hold your breath, imagine what that smells like to your dog, whose sense of smell is 10,000 times more powerful than yours. For seniors who view their dogs as family members, as daily companions who provide unconditional love and emotional support, the idea of feeding them something potentially toxic is unbearable. You bought Olroy because you wanted to provide for your pet without breaking the bank. But the hidden costs, vet bills, suffering, heartbreak, far outweigh any savings at the checkout counter. The FDA has issued warnings about pentobarbital contamination in pet foods, yet Olroy continues to be sold in massive quantities. This raises a troubling question. Does the government protect consumers or the pet food industry? The pattern of complaints, the lack of accountability, and the continued presence of this brand on store shelves suggest that profit often takes priority over pet safety. Your dog trusts you to make the right choices. They cannot read labels or research recalls. They eat what you put in front of them, believing it is safe. When you choose Olroy, you are gambling with that trust. And for a brand with this history, the odds are not in your favor. Most people never learn which brands are actually safe, but we will break it down at the very end of this video. Stick around, because the solution could change how you shop for your dog forever. Number 7. Kibbles and Bits. Kibbles and Bits has been a household name for decades. The commercials show happy dogs eagerly awaiting mealtime, tails wagging, eyes bright with anticipation. The brand promises a tasty, satisfying meal that dogs love. But behind the marketing, there is a troubling reality that every pet owner needs to understand. This brand has been named in multiple lawsuits and FDA complaints related to contamination and misleading labeling. Like Olroy, Kibbles and Bits has been linked to pentobarbital contamination. The presence of a euthanasia drug in pet food is not just disturbing, it is a fundamental failure of safety and quality control. How does something like this happen? And more importantly, why does it keep happening? The ingredient list for Kibbles and Bits wet food is a parade of red flags. Corn, soy, wheat, and artificial preservatives dominate the formula. These cheap fillers provide minimal nutritional value and can cause allergic reactions, skin problems, and digestive issues. For senior dogs already dealing with age-related sensitivities, these ingredients can turn mealtime into a source of discomfort rather than nourishment. The texture of Kibbles and Bits wet food has been criticized for being mushy and unappetizing. Some pet owners describe it as resembling paste more than actual meat. When you open the can, the lack of recognizable meat chunks or wholesome ingredients is immediately apparent. This is not food. It is filler dressed up to look like food. The smell is another concern. Many reports describe an artificial, almost chemical scent that does not resemble anything natural. Dogs may initially eat it because they are hungry, but over time, some develop aversions, refusing to touch the product. When your dog rejects food, pay attention. Their instincts are telling them something is wrong. For seniors who depend on their dogs for companionship, the emotional toll of a sick pet is immense. Vet bills add up quickly, and the stress of watching your best friend suffer is something no one should have to endure. When you choose a brand like Kibbles and Bits, you are taking a risk with your dog's health and your own peace of mind. The brand promises love in every bite, but what they deliver is uncertainty, potential contamination, and ingredients that do not belong in any dog's diet. You trusted the name. You trusted the commercials. That trust has been betrayed. If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free, and it means you will never miss these exposés. Number 6. Caesar. Caesar markets itself as gourmet food for small dogs. The packaging is elegant, the portions are dainty, and the imagery suggests a premium dining experience for your pampered pet. For seniors with toy breeds or small companions, Caesar seems like the perfect choice. Sophisticated, convenient, and designed specifically for little dogs. But premium packaging does not guarantee premium quality. Independent analyses of Caesar wet food have raised concerns about the actual meat content. While the label promises real beef, chicken, or lamb as the primary ingredient, the reality may be different. Meat byproducts and fillers often make up a significant portion of the formula. For a small dog with a tiny stomach, every bite needs to count nutritionally. When filler takes the place of real protein, your dog is not getting the nourishment they need. The sodium content in many Caesar varieties is another issue. Excess salt can lead to dehydration, kidney strain, and elevated blood pressure, problems that are especially dangerous for older dogs. Senior dogs are more susceptible to kidney disease, and feeding them a high-sodium diet can accelerate decline. The label may say gourmet, but the salt content tells a different story. There have also been complaints about inconsistency between batches. Some pet owners report that their dogs devour one tray of Caesar but refuse to touch the next, even when it is the same flavor. This inconsistency suggests quality control issues. When you buy food for your dog, you expect the same product every time. With Caesar, that expectation is not always met. The texture has drawn criticism as well. Some trays contain more gravy than actual meat, leaving pet owners wondering what they are really paying for. The gravy itself is often thick and gelatinous, with an artificial sheen that does not resemble homemade broth. When you peel back that foil lid and see more liquid than solid, you are not looking at gourmet food. You are looking at filler in disguise. For seniors who treat their small dogs like children, who want to provide the very best, the disappointment of discovering what Caesar really contains is significant. You paid a premium price expecting premium quality. Instead, you got clever marketing hiding ordinary, or worse, ingredients. Why are foods with attractive packaging and premium prices allowed to deliver substandard nutrition? Does it not feel like pet food companies care more about branding than what is actually inside the container? Number 5. Purina Beneful. Purina is one of the largest pet food manufacturers in the world. Their Beneful line is marketed as wholesome, healthy, and full of real ingredients. The commercials show vibrant dogs running through fields, enjoying life to the fullest. The packaging features images of fresh vegetables and premium cuts of meat. It all looks so appealing, so trustworthy. But the reality behind Beneful is far more troubling. Beneful has been at the center of a class action lawsuit involving thousands of pet owners who claimed the food made their dogs sick or killed them. Symptoms reported included liver failure, kidney failure, seizures, and internal bleeding. While Purina denied any wrongdoing and the case was eventually settled, the sheer volume of complaints cannot be ignored. Where there is smoke, there is often fire. The ingredient list for Beneful wet food raises immediate red flags. Corn, wheat, and soy appear prominently. Cheap fillers that provide bulk without nutrition. Artificial colors give the food an appealing appearance. But these additives serve no nutritional purpose and have been linked to allergic reactions and behavioral changes in some animals. Why does dog food need to look colorful? Dogs do not care about color. The dyes are there to fool you, the buyer. Propylene glycol, an ingredient used in some Beneful products, is approved for use in pet food at certain levels, but is also a component of antifreeze. While the FDA considers it safe in small amounts, many pet owners are understandably uncomfortable feeding their dogs anything related to such a toxic substance. For senior dogs with compromised systems, even approved additives can cause unexpected reactions. The texture of Beneful wet food varies widely between products. Some varieties are chunky, while others are ground into an unrecognizable mush. The inconsistency makes it difficult to know what you are actually feeding your dog. One might contain identifiable pieces of meat and vegetables. The next might be a homogeneous paste. This lack of standardization does not inspire confidence. The smell has also been criticized. Some pet owners report an overpowering artificial scent that does not resemble real food. Others describe a strange, almost medicinal odor that makes them question the freshness of the product. When you open a can of dog food and your first instinct is to pull back, something is wrong. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, nutrition plays a critical role in managing chronic conditions in senior pets. Feeding your older dog a product with questionable ingredients and a history of complaints is not just risky, it is irresponsible. You trusted Beneful because you trusted Purina. That trust may have been misplaced. Do not go yet. The safe options are coming, but only at the end. What we reveal could protect your dog for years to come. Stay with us. What is the worst dog food experience you have ever had? Drop it in the comments below. We want to hear your story. Number 4. Alpo. Alpo has been around since 1936. For generations, American families have trusted this brand to feed their dogs. The name itself evokes nostalgia, memories of childhood pets, of simpler times when you did not have to worry about what was in your dog's food. But nostalgia does not equal safety, and Alpo's long history does not protect it from modern scrutiny. Alpo is owned by Nestlé Purina, the same company behind Beneful, and like Beneful, Alpo has faced complaints about quality, safety, and ingredient transparency. The wet food formulas are heavy on byproducts and fillers, with real meat often taking a backseat to cheaper alternatives. The label may say beef or chicken, but the actual content tells a different story. There have been reports of foreign objects found in Alpo wet food, pieces of plastic, bone fragments, and other contaminants that have no business being in any food product. For a senior dog with dental issues or a sensitive stomach, biting down on something unexpected could cause serious injury. The promise of a satisfying meal becomes a gamble every time you open a can. The sodium content in Alpo products is another concern. High salt levels can exacerbate health problems in older dogs, particularly those with heart conditions or kidney disease. Seniors who are managing their own blood pressure and heart health understand how dangerous excess sodium can be. The same risks apply to your dog, yet the label does not emphasize this danger. The texture of Alpo wet food has drawn criticism for being overly processed and unappetizing. Some pet owners describe it as mushy, slimy, or gelatinous, textures that suggest heavy processing rather than wholesome ingredients. When you cannot identify anything recognizable in your dog's food, you have to wonder what went into making it. The smell is often described as strong and artificial. Some batches have an almost metallic odor that raises immediate questions about freshness and quality control. If the smell makes you uncomfortable, imagine how your dog feels with their far more sensitive nose. Ever notice how the same companies that fund pet nutrition studies are the ones selling products with ingredient lists you cannot pronounce? The conflict of interest is obvious, yet these brands continue to dominate the market. For seniors who remember a time when dog food was simpler, when you could trust a brand based on reputation alone, the modern reality is disappointing. Alpo's name carries weight, but the product inside the can does not live up to the legacy. Number 3. Gravy Train. Gravy Train promises dogs a meal swimming in rich, meaty gravy. The marketing suggests a satisfying, flavorful experience that dogs cannot resist. For pet owners who want to give their dogs something special, something that feels like a treat, Gravy Train seems appealing. But the reality beneath that gravy is deeply concerning. Gravy Train was one of the brands explicitly named in pentobarbital contamination reports. The FDA confirmed that trace amounts of the euthanasia drug were found in certain Gravy Train products. The company issued a recall, but the damage was done. Trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild, especially when the breach involves feeding your beloved pet a substance designed to end animal lives. The ingredient list for Gravy Train is dominated by cheap fillers and byproducts. Corn, soy, and wheat provide bulk without real nutrition. Artificial colors and flavors create the illusion of a premium product, but these additives do nothing for your dog's health. For senior dogs with sensitive systems, these ingredients can trigger allergic reactions, digestive upset, and long-term health problems. The gravy itself has been criticized for being more liquid than substance. When you pour it into your dog's bowl, you might expect chunks of meat and vegetables. Instead, you often get a brownish liquid with minimal solid content. The gravy is designed to make the food look appetizing, but it cannot hide the lack of real ingredients. The smell of Gravy Train has been described as overwhelming and artificial. Some pet owners report a strange chemical odor that does not resemble anything natural. When food smells wrong, it usually is wrong. Your instincts are trying to tell you something. Listen to them. For seniors who love their dogs like family, the idea of feeding them contaminated food is unthinkable. You trusted Gravy Train because the name was familiar, because the commercials were reassuring. That trust was betrayed in the worst possible way. The pattern here is unmistakable. Brand after brand, promise after promise, betrayal after betrayal. Why does the FDA let companies use ingredients and processes that put pets at risk? Why are recalls always after the fact, after dogs have already been harmed? The system is designed to protect profits, not pets. Number 2. Pedigree High Protein. Pedigree High Protein is marketed as a premium option for active dogs who need extra nutrition. The name suggests muscle building, high-quality protein, exactly what a health-conscious pet owner might be looking for. But premium branding does not always mean premium quality, and this product is a perfect example. Despite the high protein claim, independent analyses have shown that the actual protein content can vary significantly between batches. Some cans deliver the promised nutrition, others fall short. For a senior dog that needs consistent, reliable protein to maintain muscle mass and organ function, this inconsistency is unacceptable. The protein sources themselves raise questions. Meat byproducts and unnamed animal proteins appear on the ingredient list, leaving pet owners to guess exactly what their dog is eating. Is it chicken? Beef? Something else entirely? The lack of transparency is a red flag that suggests the company has something to hide. There have also been complaints about the texture and smell of this product. Some pet owners describe an unusual, almost plastic-like texture that their dogs refuse to eat. Others report a strong, off-putting odor that persists even after the food is served. When your dog turns away from food labeled high protein, their instincts are telling them something is wrong. The sodium content in Pedigree High Protein is another concern. High salt levels can lead to dehydration, kidney strain, and elevated blood pressure, all serious risks for older dogs. Seniors managing their own heart health and blood pressure understand these dangers intimately. The same caution should apply to what you feed your pet. For seniors who want to provide the best possible nutrition for their aging dogs, the disappointment of discovering what high protein really contains is significant. You paid more, expecting more. Instead, you got marketing dressed up as quality. Why are seniors targeted with health labels that hide the real nutritional content? Does it not feel like pet food companies care more about selling an image than delivering actual nutrition? Ever noticed how these brands keep recalling but never changing? Tell us what you think in the comments. Number 1. Blue Buffalo Homestyle Recipe. Blue Buffalo positions itself as the premium choice for health-conscious pet owners. The marketing emphasizes natural ingredients, real meat, and wholesome nutrition. The blue and white packaging suggests purity, trustworthiness, and care. For seniors who want the best for their dogs, who are willing to pay extra for quality, Blue Buffalo seems like the obvious choice. But the reality is far more complicated. Blue Buffalo has been involved in multiple controversies over the years. The company settled a class action lawsuit after it was revealed that their products contained poultry byproduct meal, an ingredient they had explicitly claimed not to use. The marketing said no byproducts. The lab tests said otherwise. This is not a minor discrepancy. It is a fundamental betrayal of trust. The company has also faced recalls due to potential contamination with aluminum and other foreign materials. Imagine feeding your senior dog what you believe is the healthiest food on the market, only to learn it may contain metal fragments. The damage from consuming such contaminants can be severe. Internal injuries, organ damage, and long-term health consequences. Independent analyses of Blue Buffalo wet food have raised questions about the actual ingredient content. While the label promises real chicken or beef as the first ingredient, the processing methods and additional fillers can dilute the nutritional value significantly. What looks like premium food may not deliver premium nutrition. The texture of Blue Buffalo Homestyle Recipe has drawn mixed reviews. Some pet owners praise the chunky, meat-like appearance, while others report batches that are mushy, watery, or inconsistent. When you pay premium prices, you expect premium consistency. With Blue Buffalo, that expectation is not always met. The smell is generally better than lower-priced brands, but some batches have been reported as having an unusual, almost chemical odor that does not match the natural image the company projects. When something smells off, trust your instincts. According to consumer advocacy groups, the pet food industry is significantly under-regulated compared to human food. Companies can make claims on their packaging that are difficult to verify and rarely challenged. Blue Buffalo has taken advantage of this lax oversight, building a premium brand on promises that do not always hold up to scrutiny. For seniors who chose Blue Buffalo because they wanted the very best for their dogs, the disappointment of learning the truth is profound. You did your research, you read the labels, you paid the premium price, and still, you were misled. This brings us to the most important question of all. If even premium brands cannot be trusted, what can you feed your dog? The answer is coming. Stay with us. Safe option 1. Wellness Core Grain-Free. After everything we have exposed, you deserve to know which brands actually deliver on their promises. Wellness Core Grain-Free is one of the few wet dog food options that consistently meets high standards for quality, safety, and nutrition. This brand uses real, deboned meat as the primary ingredient, not byproducts, not mystery proteins, but actual meat you can identify. The grain-free formula is ideal for senior dogs with sensitivities, avoiding the corn, wheat, and soy fillers that cause so many problems. The protein content is consistent, verified by independent testing, and designed to support muscle maintenance in aging dogs. Wellness Core has an excellent safety record with minimal recalls and no major contamination scandals. The company is transparent about their sourcing and manufacturing processes, answering the questions that other brands refuse to address. When you open a can of Wellness Core, you can actually see and smell the difference. Real chunks of meat in natural gravy, with a fresh aroma that does not trigger alarm bells. For seniors who want to protect their dog's health without gambling on questionable brands, Wellness Core provides the peace of mind you deserve. It is more expensive than the budget options, but the cost reflects genuine quality rather than clever marketing. Your dog's health is worth the investment. Safe option 2. Merrick Grain-Free Wet Dog Food. Merrick is another brand that consistently earns trust through transparency, quality, and safety. Their grain-free wet food formulas feature real deboned meat as the first ingredient, with no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. What you see on the label is what you get in the can. Merrick manufactures their products in the United States under strict quality control standards. Independent testing has verified that their protein content matches label claims, and the company has a strong safety record with minimal recalls. The ingredients are sourced responsibly, and the company provides clear information about where their meats and produce come from. The texture of Merrick wet food is consistently chunky and meat-forward, with recognizable pieces of protein in every serving. The smell is natural and appetizing, something you would expect from real food, not processed filler. Senior dogs with dental issues or reduced appetite often respond well to Merrick because it looks, smells, and tastes like actual food. For seniors who have been burned by brands that promise quality but deliver disappointment, Merrick offers a genuine alternative. The price point is reasonable for a premium product, and the peace of mind it provides is priceless. You can feed your dog with confidence knowing that what goes into their bowl is safe, nutritious, and honestly labeled. Not all dog food is created equal. Some can put your best friend's health at serious risk. You just learned which brands to avoid and which ones actually deliver on their promises. But this is only the beginning. New recalls happen constantly, new dangers emerge, and the pet food industry is always finding new ways to cut corners. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.